Hello, my friends, and welcome to 5 for the Future for this week, the week of July 29th. Let's jump into the 5 topics that stood out to me recently as signals of change that could impact your small business. Ready to get started? Here are our 5 topics for this week. Cybersecurity and you, green is good, weird food trends, AI and jobs, deja vu, and small business and government. All right, let's begin with story number 1, cybersecurity and you. Or more specifically, let's talk about CrowdStrike. By now, I'm sure you've heard about the global tech outage that was caused by a minor Microsoft update by cybersecurity company CrowdStrike. Flights were canceled, banks and hospitals had no access to data, minor chaos ensued, and many employees got the day off after over 8 million devices were impacted. Did we learn any lessons as a result of this? Like globally, we maybe shouldn't be so dependent on one cybersecurity company? Or maybe we should have some sort of test area to update software before it goes live. Or is all forgiven now that CrowdStrike gave employees at their partner companies links to $10 Uber Eats gift cards? Based on past history, I'm going to go ahead and say that we have not learned any lessons here. So what does this mean for you and your small business? Was your business impacted by this outage? Or maybe your air travel? It turns out that many small business owners were impacted, losing access to things like payroll software, online contract signing tools, virtual assistants, and more. And which companies was CrowdStrike the most worried about getting back online? Here's a hint. If you can't put the term Fortune 500 in front of your company name, you are not a priority. And you likely don't have a team of in-house tech support pros to help either. So now I'm asking you, are there any lessons you should be learning about your own dependence on software and tech support? Give that some thought. Now, what might the future look like? Imagine a future where AI is our tech support and AI-driven tools take care of software updates and all our software is interconnected to one of a small handful of giant tech firms. With no humans in the loop, it seems like we might risk a global meltdown with no manual backup. Imagine our traffic lights, our cars, our shipping barges, our manufacturing lines, our robot surgeons, all dependent on AI and software in the cloud, suddenly shut down. Maybe we should take a lesson from the car dealerships who lost their systems earlier this year and had to resort to paper forms and cash and checks for car sales. What is our backup in this AI-driven future? All right, let's move on to story number 2. Green is good. Earlier this year, U.S. power generation from wind surpassed that of coal. Energy from coal has been on the decline since 2008, while wind and solar are on the rise. A recent Wall Street Journal article highlighted the great success of a small conservative town in rural Minnesota moving to wind and solar power, plus geothermal heating, and a county-wide composting program. These initiatives help the town become more self-sufficient and lower its energy and fuel costs. Turns out there's a huge appeal in common sense cost-saving goals that also happen to be good for the environment. Perhaps this is a new model for energy sourcing. It's certainly a bad sign that our energy infrastructure is not aging well at the same time that AI data centers and rapidly climbing high temperatures are increasing our demand for electricity. Both of these issues are leading to more outages and higher electricity bills. So what's this all mean for you and your small business? Small businesses don't have the capability to do what Amazon is claiming it has done, matching all of its electricity consumption with 100% renewable energy, meaning, by the way, that it is purchasing energy from solar and wind plants along with more traditional sources. But part of Amazon's sustainability goals could involve you if you do business with Amazon. Amazon's now asking its highest emitting suppliers to provide a decarbonization plan and demonstrate progress over time. So what might the future look like? The near future will likely involve some messy combination of oil, gas, wind, solar, and other forms of energy. The holy grail would be some sort of renewable energy that is also very low in cost. There are lots of initiatives underway, including technology that turns coal into clean-burning hydrogen without any greenhouse gas, and mini nuclear reactors. Lots of room for innovative small businesses in the world of renewable energy. Hint, hint. And with that, let's move on to our story number 3, weird food trends. If you know me, you know I can't resist a good weird food combination story, so we'll start with that. Or Ida, the master of the frozen potato product, has partnered with Good Pop ice cream treat maker to offer fudge and vanilla French fry pops, a frozen vanilla oat milk pop wrapped in a chocolate shell rolled in French fry pieces. Other ice cream trends include Blue Moon, the beer, ice cream, and Guinness Draught, ice cream with maple pancake crunch. In other weird food trends, what do you think about upcycling wasted food? For example, the company Spare Food Company makes vegetable starters to use for tacos, sauces, and burgers that's made of things like cauliflower leaves and stems, tomato skins, and misshapen or bruised veggies. And they make a sparkling probiotic drink using the byproducts from Greek yogurt. And a startup ice cream maker is using overripe bananas and other upcycled foods in its products for flavor. In a somewhat related story, Walmart is testing out automated distribution centers for fresh food to help with online grocery orders. The robots are trained to find all the food products from your order in the warehouse and then stack them appropriately with fragile items like eggs on top. Do you trust a robot to pick out the freshest produce for you? Or will that produce end up being upcycled into another product? What does all this mean for you and your small business? Well, there are some messages for small business owners here, even if you're not in the food industry. Be creative. Consider promoting unusual combinations of products and services to attract attention. Look for ways that you can be less wasteful with your products, supplies, and time, and then promote that to your customer base. And point out how you still rely on people to be the decision makers, those so-called fresh produce selectors of your business. What might the future look like? I would love to imagine a future where there's no food waste. Old or ugly produce gets blended into new products. Stores are able to perfectly match supply with demand for fresh produce to avoid spoilage and waste. And we all feel like better people because we don't throw as much food away. I don't think we're anywhere near that future yet, but A, it is reassuring to think about it, and B, I know that small business owners will be the innovators in this world. All right, now let's move on to our story number 4, AI and jobs. Deja vu? Maybe you've heard this story before from me. Will AI take our jobs? Will it create new jobs? There's so much conflicting information out there as this industry continues to take form. So what's the latest buzz on AI and jobs? Here's some of what I'm hearing. AI tools are doing better than doctors at detecting prostate cancer and at predicting cancer based on your medical records. But nurses argue that AI could cause harm if it takes over their role in decision-making and caregiving for patients. And as some say, AI offers average intelligence, and a recent study found that using AI for content or creative writing led to more sameness, less variation, and less originality, like we're all converging in the middle of a bell curve. Meanwhile, AI is getting better at emotional intelligence, sensing your voice tones and facial expressions to determine emotions and respond accordingly. Is that helpful for interactions with AI bots or dangerous? Related to that, in China, AI is helping to resurrect your deceased loved ones with AI avatars based on photos, videos, and other past interactions. Here in the US, we still have some ethical concerns for this use of AI. Good to know there are limits. So what does this all mean for you and your small business? The small businesses I work with aren't being transformed by AI tools just yet, but it certainly makes sense to pay attention to what's going on. AI can be a terrific tool for content creation, at least that first draft, and perhaps even for customer service chatbots that can solve simple customer problems and save employees time. Keep an eye on the options out there as there are new AI apps coming out every day. Who knows which one will make a real difference in your day-to-day operations? And what might the future look like? We are getting a glimpse of the AI future as we move toward companies with so-called digital employees, those bots powered by AI that might be your customer service support, your sales outreach, your financial analysts, or more. And OpenAI leaders have now defined the 5 stages of AI innovation that could lead to AI running a company. Starting with stage 1, I think that's where we are maybe, chatbots. Then stage 2, reasoners and problem solvers. Stage 3, agents that take action. Stage 4, innovators and inventors. And finally, stage 5, organizations. And at this stage, all AI can do the work of an organization. Is this a roadmap to AI progress? Or, as one person suggested, a plan to make human workers obsolete? Stay tuned on that one. All right, now a final story number 5, small business and government. Let's start with a Supreme Court decision in June that might put an end to business owners using key man type life insurance to help repurchase the stock of a deceased owner. The decision determined that the life insurance policies are not estate tax free and that the insurance value gets added to the value of the company. Do you have life insurance to help your company navigate the death of an owner? Maybe look into this a little more than just this video. In another Supreme Court news, their decision to limit the regulatory power of federal agencies is predicted to be a big help to big companies, especially when it comes to finding tax breaks. But you might be out of luck as a small business because this new route involves attorneys and appeals and is a time-consuming and expensive process. Speaking of attorneys, watch out for a law firm making its money by suing small businesses claiming their websites aren't accessible to visually impaired people. One firm has filed over 1,000 cases in the past year going after small businesses, apparently with the goal of getting quick settlements and not actually making the websites more accessible. So this feels to me like more of a money grab than an honest appeal to improve accessibility online. In more positive news, $5 billion in federal grants were announced recently to help replace or repair aging bridges across the country. And some of those funds could help hire your firm if you are in the construction or infrastructure business. Finally, check out this new database, smb.co, the largest database of on and off market small businesses for buyers and sellers. If you're looking to eventually sell your business or looking to buy an existing business, this could become a great resource. Too new for now to know for sure. So what does this all mean for you and your small business? Any of these stories could impact your business depending on the industry you're in. Even though reports show that government officials and U.S. residents in general are huge supporters of small business owners, it can sure feel like big businesses still get all the big advantages. What might the future look like? My jaded view of the future is that small businesses will continue to be at a disadvantage as compared to big business. My ideal view of the future has small business owners finding ways to come together, to collaborate, solve problems, and generally work together to the advantage of all the small businesses, which is, of course, my goal for my own business, to help small business owners find the information, connections, and time to grow their business. So we'll end for that. That's it for this week. Thank you for watching. I hope these 5 topics and my take on them get you thinking about how these signals of change could ultimately impact your small business. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again in 2 weeks.